Republican Senator Marco Rubio of Florida is a member of the Senate Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committees. He's with us from Capitol Hill after a late night there for the State of the Union. Senator, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you guys.
Let's dig right into the details. The immigration plan that the president laid out last night, he called it a down-the-middle compromise. But when he said that a single immigrant can bring in virtually unlimited numbers of distant relatives, that so-called chain migration, was he correct?
Well, it depends how you define distant relatives. They can't bring in their aunts and uncles, but they can, under current law, bring your parents, but then you can bring your siblings. And understand that what the president is asking for is he's asking for a change that almost every other country in the world now has. By the way, a change that we had in the Gang of Eight bill in 2013, and that is to change family reunification to the nuclear family. In essence, a person who's in this country can bring their children and can bring obviously their spouse, but you can't be the one that brings your parents or your siblings. That doesn't mean they can't come. They just can't, you can't be claiming them to come. Almost every country in the world has that policy, by the way.
Well, I noticed yesterday that you tweeted that we need a Plan B bill that just deals with DACA and the border. So do you think that changes to this family migration and the visa lottery can't get through the U.S. Senate?
I think they can, because Democrats have voted for them in the past. In 2013, in that bill, the Gang of Eight bill that some hate and others always point to, the Democrats not only went to that sort of immigration on the family, but they also got rid of the visa lottery, which is the other thing the president's asking for. Now, in fairness, I think they would say we did it as part of a comprehensive package. But the truth of the matter is that those things can be done. I'm in favor of doing them, but I'm just saying that if we can't, if somehow we just can't get those things done, then we should have a Plan B that basically focuses on border security and focuses on making sure that the people here under DACA now do not lose their status, give them something permanent. They know they're going to be here for the rest of their lives, and then fight another day or keep working on the path to citizenship.
Senator, many people took offense when he seemed to tie the Dreamers to MS-13 gang members. He introduced the family who had lost two of their daughters, and he seemed to tie the two together. Did that trouble you?
No, I understand why people get upset, about that, but in the end, I'm not sure that's justified. That's like saying, you can't criticize the mafia because they're Italian American. I mean, the bottom line is MS-13 is an evil, horrifying organization that's killing and hurting people all over the country. Of course, the majority of immigrants are not members of MS-13. In fact, the majority of the victims...
The majority of them are not members of MS-13.
Right, and hold on a second, but he never said they were. And my second point is the majority of the victims of MS-13 happen to be from immigrant families and immigrant communities. MS-13 does not go into Beverly Hills. MS-13 is in communities where other immigrants are living, and that is who they prey on, and that is who they harm. So when you're going after MS-13, first and foremost, you're going after a gang that is hurting immigrants. So I understand that in this environment, people want to say that, but I'm not sure that's a fair criticism. I really am not.
Okay.
Senator, let me ask you a question about Puerto Rico. The president mentioned all the different places that were hit by these storms, but Puerto Rico has had a tougher time of it. There's a lot of places that don't have power. Is the executive branch doing enough to make sure that Puerto Rico is going to be able to recover?
Well, at this point, we need to pass a disaster relief package, and what the House passed was not enough. We have to do more. We're working on doing more. I talked about it yesterday on the Senate floor with Bill Nelson, my colleague from Florida. We've offered a series of amendments and ideas to make it even bigger, and we feel optimistic that we're going to be able to get that done. I would also say that it's not just the federal government. There are also responsibilities that lie in the governments in Puerto Rico, particularly the government of Puerto Rico, and there are some issues there as well. So, but I think that my biggest concern is that we did not respond at the federal level rapidly enough, and we didn't do enough early in the process at the federal level because we tried to treat it like a conventional storm, and it was not. But at this stage, there are things FEMA can do. I've disagreed with their decision, but we can do more.
Senator, before we go, I know that last weekend you flew back from Florida to Washington to fire your chief of staff after learning the day before of allegations of improper conduct. Is this, do you think, now a model for how other lawmakers in Congress should handle it when they learn someone on their staff is accused of this type of improper behavior?
Well, obviously every case is different, and people deserve the right of accused to present their side. In this particular case, I was presented with compelling and overwhelming evidence, indisputable, and that I needed to act on immediately. You have to act on it immediately. Once you know something, you cannot continue to expose people on your staff to that from that moment forward.
What troubled you about what he did?
Well, the problem with discussing details is and this is why the victims and the people that came forward do not want to be publicly identified. And I hope you understand what I'm about to say. If I say enough details about this, people will be able to figure out who it is. It's one of those kinds of cases. And so I'm going to, now, if they ever decide to come forward publicly, I will support them 100%. But that's not where they are. I'm going to honor it, because if I don't, let me tell you what happens. Then people will be afraid to come forward because they don't want that to be part of the search engine results for the rest of their lives.
Got it.
All right, Senator Rubio, thank you very much for joining us
Thanks
this
for
morning.
having me.